So you can see the screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So today we are going to discuss about the directory structure, and we will be discussing something about what is file system. Okay, and we will go with the installation. Okay.
Okay.
So basically, you know what is file system, right? Okay. So why we need file system? Can I store the data on the hard disk without file system?
No.
Can I store the data on the disk without file system?
No. No.
No, really.
We can, but it won't be like in exact
It won't.
manner,
It won't be like.
like a structure.
So basically, when I talk about when I'm talking about a disk, okay, a disk is nothing but raw disk.
Yeah.
Without a file system, it is called raw disk.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say a disk is nothing but a raw disk, even on the raw disk we can store data.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but here the condition is, okay, the data should be in characters. Data should be in characters, right? Characters means what? A, B, C. This is called characters. But you know, when we are storing the data, data is not stored in characters. It is stored somewhere in bits, bytes, blocks, MKBs, MBs, GBs, right? Yes or no? So basically, this raw disk doesn't understand the block data. Okay, so that is the reason we will not store data directly onto the raw disk. So if you want to make this block disk to store on the disk or a partition, we have to convert the partition, a raw partition, into file system. That means we are going to create a file system on the partition. And whenever you create the file system on the raw disk, then it will allow you to store the block data. Understand? So this is the way. This is the reason why we have to create a file system, right? See, I'm having a hardware. If you want to access that hardware, we need a operating system converter. At the same time, when you want to access a disk or a partition, definitely we need a converter that is nothing but file system. Okay, so when I talk, a file system will convert character part to the block special path, and every operating system contains their own file system. Like Windows is having NTFS and FAT, in Linux is having ext2, ext3, ext4, and XFS, and Solaris is having something called UFS and ZFS, and IMEIX is having something called JFS and JFS2, and HP Unix is having something called JFS. So So the purpose of file system is same, but when you go to any operating system, every operating system will contain its unique file systems. Getting it? So this is the information. Now we are going to discuss something about the directory structure, or we can also say the file systems. So what is mean by directory structure? You know, when you are installing Windows, okay, so basically where this Windows gets installed, the Windows gets installed on the C drive.
Yeah.
Windows gets installed on the C drive. You are very much clear about that. It is will be there in C drive, and inside the C drive, you know what it is there. Inside the C drive, what it is there. What is there means inside the C drive, you go, you will have a program files, you will have a document settings, you will have a user, right? There are so many directories. We have my pictures, my programs, my downloads, okay, my videos. Understand?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is all you will be seeing there, right? So no need to explain, like by seeing that only you will understand, yes, this is a information related to the, okay, operating system. But when you are installing Linux and Unix, okay, so what are the directories it is going to create, where it is going to install operating system? Because when you are installing operating system, it distributes the installed packages information into different directories. So until unless you will not know about these directories, you will not be able to list the information. For example, if you know that the logs are located in where, then you can see it. If you know that the main configuration files are located in etc, then you can just look into that. Okay, if you know that what we say, uh, the library files or man pages are located in USR, then only you can look into that, right? So we are going to discuss about these directories and okay, directories and directory structure. So whenever I'm saying directory structure, what does this mean exactly? What is mean by directory structure?
It's like part.
Okay, see, very simple. It is nothing but, this is nothing but root. Okay, and remember one thing, root is a top level directory and its file system and it's a top level user. Top level user also. Getting my point? So these are all the information about the root. Top level directory means slash is a one directory and slash is attached to some partition. That's the reason it is called file system. And like in Windows we have administrator, in Linux we have root. So here root is a super user. He will have all the privileges to perform any kind of task. But below the root, when I talk about below the root, we have these directories. Understand? Like this, there are so many directories we have. Nearly 15 to 20 or more than 20 also you will see. So everything comes under root only. Okay, we will say slash dev slash etc slash bin slash spin slash usr slash var slash mnt slash media, like this we will say. But here the question is, what is the information stored in that directories we are going to discuss. Okay, so now let me give you the information how it is going to work. So when I say root, root is a file system or root is a top level hierarchy or top level directory or hierarchy for all the file systems and directories. And root is a super user in Unix and he has all the privileges to administrate. Okay, and when I talk about root is nothing but when you log into the machine, this is the prompt you're going to get, and when you log into the normal user, you're going to get this kind of, understand? And when I talk about root, this is the home directory for the root. So when I say this is a home directory for root, how do we say that it is a home directory? You know that when the user logs into the machine, he will have some private region where he can store the data. That is only in Linux it is called home directory. Understand? So when the root logs into the machine with the root account, so he will be placed in slash root, and where only the root can store the data. No other users can store the data. So when I say pwd, we are in where? Slash root. And don't confuse here. One is a directory with the name called slash root, and there is another directory with the name called slash also. You see this? So there is no confusion. Slash is a top level directory for all the directories, and slash root is nothing but it is a home directory for root.
Okay.
It is a home directory for root. Getting it? Okay. This is how it is going to work. Now we are going to see something about boot. Boot is nothing but holds the important files during the boot up process. So includes the Linux kernel information. So you know that when the system has to boot, it needs some configuration file, and it needs some programs that helps in booting the operating system. All these configurations and programs are located in slash. Okay, and we have something called bin. Bin stands for binary. It's a directory contains normal user commands. It's a directory contains normal user commands. So the last time when we were discussing about the architecture of Unix and Linux, right? So we were discussing something. Bin is a directory where you contain all the normal user commands, and you know bin is a part of USR. Okay, so this is a location where you go. So USR is another directory, and within this directory only you will find this bin. Okay, and SBin is nothing but super binaries. It is called the super binaries is nothing but it is all contains root user commands. Even SBin is a part of USR.
Hello.
Okay,
Let me ask you a question, please.
yes, tell me.
So, what is the main configuration for Linux? You said it will be in boot, but what is it
What is the main configuration for?
in
I didn't get your question.
main configuration file in Linux kernel? Like you said, it will be in boot. There will be all the configuration files, but what?
Yes, that is all bootable files.
So, any
You're
specific
talking a main configuration file for kernel or main configuration file for your booting process?
for kernel?
What do you want?
For
For
kernel.
kernel, etc sysctl.config file is the main configuration file. And you should remember one thing, the main configuration file related to your systems are located in etc.
Okay.
Understand? When I'm saying slash boot means it only holds the files that is used at the time of booting process only.
Okay.
Okay, getting it?
Yeah.
But I am not saying that the whole files are located in slash boot only, right? So etc contains all the main configuration files
Okay. For
that is
example,
needed by the system, and that is needed by all the programs that are going to come online at the time of booting process.
okay. For example, if while we are doing rebooting, if the system doesn't properly, which file exactly we have to look into?
There are so many files that you have to look into.
So it depends on.
I'm not telling only one file.
Okay.
It is you have to see one by one. You have to see one by one, and that you will come to know when we are discussing about booting process.
Okay, that's fine.
Getting it? We have a session called booting process. When we discuss about booting process, definitely you will come to know how many files and what are the commands and how the system is going to come online, after which file it is reading another file, what is other file. All these things plays a major role.
Okay.
Understand? So right now we are just discussing the basic information here. Even we are not discussing what is that main configuration file also. Okay. So etc is a directory contains main configuration file related to the system, such as it contains the configuration file required by all the programs. And this also contains the startup and shutdown scripts. Okay, and used by the start and stop individual programs. Okay, so this directory plays a major role here because all the start and stop scripts are located here. Okay, and we have a directory called platform. Basically, forget about this platform directory because it is proprietary to only Unix, not for Linux. Because in Unix we will go for proprietary hardware that it is only used for that only. Okay, then we have something called USR. USR stands for Unix System Resources. So USR is a directory. It contains the library files, man pages, and program related to the OS. Understand? And contains USR bin, and it contains the information about spool. Spool is nothing but printers. News, man, mail is all contains under USR only. Okay. Now we have something I can I can just compare this USR as system32. You know system32 in Windows? It's same like that. And we have something called var. Var is nothing but variables. So it's a directory contains system messages or error messages. So all the system messages and error messages are located in var and contains content of the file that are expected to go can be found under this directories. So you can see the system logs in this location, package and database logs in this location, mail logs in this location, print logs in this location, and a temporary file need across the reboot, it is located in this file. So these are ultimately you have to go to the var to see any kind of logs or system messages. And this logs related to any service or anything that may be related to system, that may be related to user, that may be related to some other people, whatever it is. Okay, we have to look into this. And we have a directory called temp. When we talk about temp, you know, when the server is running, the process will be running, and that process are called active process, and all these active process related temporary files are stored in /temp. Stored in /temp. Understand? Getting it? So this is the information. And we have something called /proc. And one thing you have to remember, when it comes to the Windows, we will delete manually these temporary files from this location. Okay, in Windows I'm talking. But whereas when it comes to Linux, this temp directory is called volatile memory. Volatile is nothing but temporary. That means when you reboot the machine, all the data, all the temporary files that is available in this location will be flushed out from the machine, from this particular directory. Understand? So this is the advantage how it is going to work. And we have a directory called proc. Proc is nothing but a process. It's a virtual or pseudo file system or a directory which contains information about the running process IDs. So you know that when the process is running inside the Linux and Unix, it is going to assign a unique ID to the process that is called PID, that is called process ID. Okay, so when you want to see, I mean, all these process IDs, which is allocated to the process running on your machine, that will be stored in /proc directory with the help of process file system. Okay, and /home, it contains the home directories for the user. So whatever the users we are going to see inside the Linux, their home directories will be created here. This is the home directory for Sam. This is the home directory for John. Getting it? Okay. That means when I log in as a John, he will be placed here where I can store my data. Okay. MNT stands for mount, contains the file system mount point. So that is nothing but if I am creating a file system, if I want to mount it, that is nothing but mount is nothing but I am going to create one empty directory and attach it to the file system. That is called okay. So mount point, and all these mount points you can see inside the MNT. And we also have something called last place found. This directory is installed during the installation of Linux and useful for recovering the files which may be broken down due to unexpected shutdown. So the last place found, basically this directory will be created on your file system once you create it or once you install it. Okay, and basically when the file system gets crashed, you can recover it from this. And we have something called media. Media is nothing but temporary mount directories is created for removable devices like CD-ROM and DVD-ROMs. And we have a directory called dev. Dev stands for devices. It contains the device files information. There is nothing but whatever the physical devices it is connected to my server, all these physical devices related logical files are located here. And lib stands for library. It contains the library files. Like you know, in Windows we have a concept called DLL. It is called dynamic link library. When it comes to the Linux, it is called lib. Lib stands for library. Okay, and these lib files are generated when you install some packages, when you install the operating system. And OPT stands for optional. Optional file system is used to store some optional softwares or some data. This is the information. Understood up to here? And you can see all these directories here. You can see this is all the directories. Understand? So
Yep.
this is all the information how it is going to work. So this is all very, very important directories that you need to concentrate.
Okay, so
Okay.
all these directories are created while we installing the Linux, right?
Yes, when you are installing the operating system, it automatically creates.
Okay, if you
Okay, we will not create. When you are installing operating system, you will only create the partitions. That is nothing but we only create file systems. Okay, getting it? For example, you're installing Windows. You will just say your operating system that you have to install it in C drive.
yeah.
Okay, until unless you will not say that it is a C drive, you have to inform the operating system. You have to give information to the operating system saying that it should install on the C drive. Then it will be doing it. Otherwise, no, it will not do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Then apart from this, here also same thing happens. So when you are installing operating system, definitely we need to create some file systems. Okay, what is this file system? Like they have some standard partitions or file system we'll call root, boot, USR, var, OPT, swap. This is a minimum configurations that you have to do it.
Okay.
And you know when you're configuring this 6 partitions with this naming conventions and all the 6 partitions, if you want to create with an approximate size, we need minimum 20 GB disk. Okay, for example, you will say that, boss, I want to go with something called default. Then it is 8 GB is more than enough. 8 to 10 GB is more than enough to install. Okay, because you know when you are installing anything, any operating system or application, it provides you 2 options. One is typical, another one is custom, right? So
Yep.
what is typical? Typical means whatever the options it is provided by default by the operating system. Okay, but when I say custom, that means you have a good configuration for this particular server or for this particular machine. So we will try to go with that configurations. Okay, so this is the way how it is going to done. Any doubt here?
No.
So this is the things. Now we are going to discuss what is file. So you know file is nothing but a collection of data. And you know in Unix everything is treated as a file, file is treated as a file, directory is treated as a file, and device is treated as a file. Okay, and whenever we create a file, it creates permission tag and inode number. And this is something called permission tag. Okay, so it is going to give you like this. And inode number means you should know something about inode number. It's a unique number allocated to the file or directory. Okay, so this unique number contains the detailed information about the file except their names. What is the detailed information? Permission, link count, UID, GID, size, creation time, access time, modified time. So this is all the information that it is going to maintain. Clear?
Yep.
So remember one more thing. When you are creating a file or directory, it automatically generates a unique inode number to that particular file or directory by the kernel. Okay, so this is the way how it is going to work. And before we start creating a file or directory, let me show you how to install operating system. So once you
Okay.
more information about this.
Okay. Let me ask you a question.
So, yes, tell me.
You said inode number. So what that exact means?
Uh,
When we create a file, it shows all means permission tags with all dates, times, size, and everything. So is there
mm,
any specific number before that, or
see, basically, I will tell you. You have a date of birth.
yeah?
You have a name.
Mm-hmm.
So name is user friendly.
Yeah.
Yes, to remember you to call you, I need a name. Yes or no? Can I call you with date of birth? No. So for same file also we have a name and we have a inode number, right? So when I talk about the date of birth, you have some property for the date of birth. Do you
Yeah.
have anything with the date of birth? You will go to the astrologer, right?
Yeah.
You will give your date of birth and time. So he will give you everything about you.
Yeah.
What he will give you, what is your current, was your previous, what will be your future, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's or no, right? So at the same time, this inode also contains same kind of information. Okay, what is this inode number property? This file is this. This is a permission. This is the owner. This is the group, and it is created in this particular time. It is accessed this particular time. It is accessed. It is modified in this particular time, right? So
Okay.
this is all the information it's going to give me.
So
Okay, but you should remember one thing. This information is called meta information of the inode, or we will say meta information of the file.
yeah.
Is something called meta information, right? Yes, we can also see this meta information. You know that we can see this meta information. How do we see that? Take an example. When I'm saying ls, there is a file with the name called install.log. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So I'm going to say there is a command called stat install log. This is something called the meta information of the file.
Okay. In this inode number, can we see that? Is it yeah, 12800? Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Then this is inode number, right? This is a link count. This is a block size. This is a blocks available. The size. This is giving the device information. Whether it is a regular file or directory, it is giving owner, a group. It is giving. It is giving access, modified and changed. Getting it? So this is the way how it is going to work. Done. So this is the information. So we will be seeing more about these things. So understood up to here, right?
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So now let us go with the installation. So let me shut down this machine. Okay. So basically, you know how to create a virtual machine, right? No need to explain.
Is it VMware?
It's VMware. So what you're using?
It's
Are you using VMware or you're using Oracle VM?
nothing at the moment.
Not using it.
No.
Then how you will manage the things? How you will practice? What is your laptop configuration right now?
It's Core i3 Windows.
Core i3. What's this? Okay. What is the memory you have? Memory means RAM.
It's 2 GB, 4 GB RAM.
Uh,
4 GB
2
RAM.
GB RAM, it will not support. 4 GB RAM, please check it out. See the properties of your
Yeah,
computer.
yeah, it's
My
4.
computer, right click.
It's 4 GB.
4 GB,
Yeah.
okay.
Plus 500 hard disk.
Okay. Okay, 4 GB means, okay, fine, but still, uh, okay, you can create just two missions, two virtual missions.
Okay.
So what you do is just go to the browser and just download VMware Workstation 12 Pro for Windows. You're using Windows 7 or Windows 10?
7.
Windows 7 you're using.
Yeah.
So download, this is the thing, Windows, a VMware, right? VMware Workstation 4, this is how you have to download. Just go to this and just download it.
Okay.
And you know you're going into that, or shall I give you a link?
It's fine. I can check it
So you have to download what you know, you have to download this.
for 64-bit. Okay.
Okay, not for Linux, you have to download for Windows. Okay. Then once you download it, it will ask you for a license when you're installing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I will give you a license once you install. Let me know. I will be giving you a license.
Okay.
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 Otherwise, if you don't want to deal with any license, you can go with Oracle VM also, but it will be little bit difficulty for you to manage.
Okay.
I
Then.
mean, okay. So VMware means it is a little bit. I mean, almost it is transparent. You can see everything like this.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And you know how to. I mean, I'm going to show you how to create a virtual machine here first. Then we will go with the installation.
Okay.
Okay. So basically when I talk about virtual machine, for example, once you install VMware and when you double click on this icon, you will be seeing this wizard. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Create new virtual machine, open the virtual machine, connect to the server and connect to the VMware vCloud here, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what I have to do here, because my task I need one machine, right? Then click on create new machine. Okay, so when I just click on create new machine, it is going to give you welcome to the new virtual machine wizard. It is asking you two options here. One is typical, another one is customize. Okay, and I'm going to press next here. When I press next here, so we will just go with custom here, because when you go with the typical, it will give you all the default options.
Okay.
When I say custom, it will allow you to do lot of customization. So if you want to see the customizations, it is recommended to go custom, because as administrator, every time you have to see more options. Okay, then I'm going to say next here. So when I say next year, it is giving the information like this is a maximum limitation that virtual machine is going to support, and this is the thing. So for example, if you're using VMware, I mean Mac operating system, if you're using, there it is called VMware Fusion. It is not called Workstation. But when you're using Linux and when you're using Windows, it is something called Workstation. Okay, and it is also having a backward compatibility with all these versions. Okay, and I'm going to say next. Now it is asking the guest operating system installation, from where you want to install this guest operating system. Do you want to install from DVD, you want to install from the ISO image, or you want to install it later? So right now I'm just selecting it, install it later. Okay, then I'm going to just say next. So when you say next here, now it is asking you which guest operating system you want to install. This is all the things it is going to support. It is going to support Windows, it is going to support Linux, Netware, Novel Network, Solaris, this many things. So right now I'm selecting Linux here. Then in this Linux, what you want to do it. So basically we are going with Red Hat, right? Red Hat Enterprise Linux 6 with 64-bit, because we are just working on 64-bit version, 64-bit release. That's the reason you have to select this, and I'm going to just say next. And this is the name of the virtual machine it is directly taking. I don't want to give the naming convention like this. I will give you anything what RHEL VM 5. And you see this is a location where the virtual machine is going to look. So you will say, boss, I don't have enough space in C drive. I want to put this virtual machine path in D drive. No issues. Just click on browse and define the path. I mean to say browse the path and just say next.
Okay.
Understand?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to say next here. Then this is a number of processors by default it takes, and if you want to give more than this, you can give it. Okay, so you see this. So this is the maximum configuration it is going to support. 16 into 16, 256.
What is this?
But physically I don't have.
What is this process?
You have a processor. You need CPU, right, to run the machine.
Yeah.
The CPU we are allocating here.
So number of processes. How?
It is virtual resources. It is virtual resources. Don't confuse here.
Okay.
See, actually mine is a i5.
Okay.
So basically it has 4 processors.
Okay.
Okay, actually it contains physically 1 processor, but virtually we have a 4.
Okay.
Understand? But you know, in Windows there is a concept. When it comes to the servers, there is a concept called processor, core, and thread. You know what is that? If I say dual core, what does this mean?
2 cores.
2 cores physically or logically?
Logically.
But physically we have only 1 processor,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
When I say quad,
Sorry, quad.
when I say quad core,
Yeah.
quad means how much?
4 logical cores.
4 logical cores, 1 physical processor,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But here what happens, the technology is changed, not now, long back only. The one physical processor is going to contain 4 cores, and each core will have 4 threads. Each core will have 4 threads. 4 into 4, 16. That is nothing but ultimately this processor will contain 16 virtual CPUs.
Okay. So in i3, how many?
So this is how.
In i3.
I think you have 3 or 4. I think. Just check with the task manager. Open the task manager.
Yeah.
Go to performance. Go to performance.
1 second. Performance is not coming in my phone. Just only
Why?
like
You will get like this, right?
no, it's not coming up like that in my machine.
You are using Windows 7 or Windows 8?
7. It just says task and status. That's it.
I like that. Okay, no problem. I think you should have only two.
2.
It should not be two, it should be three or four. Two means dual core only. Okay, right. Sometimes you will see four also. Then I will just say next here. And this is the memory it is going to take. If you don't have enough memory, you can just give it to 1 GB also.
Okay.
So in your scenario, you have to give 1 GB only. In my scenario, because I have enough resources, I'm giving 2 GB. And now it is asking network type. You have to select go with use bridge network. You have to use something called use bridge network. I'm going to just say next here, and I'm going to with LSI logic recommended, and it is a
Sorry,
select disk type is
can we go to bridge section? Means one more back. What is the difference between these networkings? All user.
that I will tell you in networking session.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
All right.
I
Okay.
will update you because you will not understand. Okay,
Okay.
getting it. So that's the thing. So I will just say next here. When I say next here, it is going to ask you select the IO controller type, LSA logical recommended. You have to go on. And I'm going to just say next here, and it is asking you whether you want to select what kind of disk select section. We will go with the recommended one, and then afterwards it is asking create a new virtual machine. So I'm going to just click on that. I want to create a new virtual disk, right? So the disk size it is automatically taking as 20 GB. Just go with that and just say next. And this is a disk VMDK that is called Virtual Manager. I mean VMware disk. It is something. Just say next, and this is a summary what we have given. Just say finish. It will create it. Okay, but I am not going to create this. I'm not going to say finish because I'm going to say cancel. Because I'm having so many missions, I'm going to show you. But only to understand how to create a virtual machine, I have shown you how this is going to go. Right? So now I'm going to go with RHL VM1 where we are going to install operating system. So this is all the devices that we have created on the machine, and this is power on and edit virtual machine settings. Right? So now what I'm going to do here is basically let me delete this particular disk, and I'm going to create a new one. So you can remove and add the disks here anytime. There is no issue. This time a disk is being created here. Now I'm going to power on the machine. So you know that when you power on the machine, you know you have to get into the BIOS to make the first boot device as DVD, and we will try to install the operating system. Right? So I'm going to power on the machine, and I'm going to press F2 here to get into the BIOS. So this is my BIOS. So what you have to do, you have to press the cursor inside the virtual machine, then you have to press F2. Okay. So when you press F2, you have to go to this boot manager and you have to make the first boot device as DVD. And just press F10 to save this information. Okay. So once you update this information, the machine starts booting from the DVD. So right now, the system started booting from the DVD, and you know you have to go with the first option only, that is called install or upgrade an existing system. We will be discussing all these options later on in administration. Right now we are just seeing the basic installation part.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to just press an enter here. We go with the default option, and it starts installing in graphic mode using the Java environment. Okay, so this is the thing. Okay. 1 minute. Somebody behind this. Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Oh.
Somebody joined already. So we have to just skip this, what we say, skip this media test. Okay. So once you skip this media test here, okay. So after this,
So in this, all those directories, what we just saw on the root, can we see this? Can we see those all in like folders in Windows in here?
why you will see in the Windows,
Means in here we got the GUI mode as well for Linux. You said.
then
So can we see all those like folders?
when you install,
While installing, you said all those in root, all those four file systems what we just saw, all those like etc.
that's
Uh,
that's what after installation you will see that.
yeah, after installation, can we see it like in like folders in GUI mode?
Definitely you can see in command line, you can see in a graphic mode also.
Okay. Next.
1 minute. Right? So I'm going to just say next here. Once you say next here, then I'm going to select English. Okay, we will go with the default, no need to worry, just say next. And this is an appropriate keyboard, we're going to say next. Okay, so once you say next here, then it is asking you whether you want to install, go with the basic storage device, no need to change anything here. And it is going to give you these things. Yes, you have to say yes, discard any data.
Okay.
Okay. Then afterwards it is giving host name, it is asking give the host name as RHELVM1. Because I am going with the standard naming convention, I'm giving like this.
Yeah.
When it comes to you, you can give server 1, server 2, server 3 like this, anything name, any name you can give it.
Okay.
Okay, then afterwards what I will do is I'm going to click on configure network and you see there is a device with the name called ETS0. Select that and click on edit and go to the IP version 4 and instead of selecting automatic DHCP, select manual and click on add and to add the IP address. Okay, then you have to say connect automatically on the top and just say apply and just say close. So once you close it, then just say next. But in your case, how you will give the IP address? You're using Windows 7, right? On that you go and see what is IP address we have. Take an example on your Windows machine, it is 192.168.1.20. Then you here you can give 1.20, 122, 23, anything you can.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the information.
And one more thing, uh,
Uh-huh.
everything will be like in Windows, everything in GUI, right?
Uh-huh.
So why don't all these companies doesn't use this one in GUI?
Why Windows like GUI?
Yeah, like
Again, you see why you're learning Linux.
because that's the main question because I don't know if someone
No,
asked.
that's what I'm asking you. No, I'm asking the same question only. I will come to you. Why people are not using Windows more in the real time? Why they are using only Linux?
It's I think it's secured,
Huh?
secured for security reasons.
What kind of security? Windows is not secure. Microsoft, Bill Gates will die
No,
if
it's
say
not
that
like that.
Windows
Like
is
a
not
hacking virus.
hacking.
It's
No one can hack in Windows, you know.
How
We're
about
talking about virus. Very good firewall we have in Windows. Very good antivirus we have in Windows.
so it's like
If-
free of
And
cost
then
Linux means
Linux
compared
is
to
free of
Windows.
cost. Who said?
Compared to Windows,
You,
less.
who said? No, not at all. Linux is not free of cost. Remember that.
Only
It
for
is
support
it is a
purposes.
commercial operating system. Open source, who will use open source?
All
In real time, no one is using open source. Everyone are using commercial operating system. Everyone using commercial operating system. No one is using Windows. I mean, no one is using open source Linux operating system.
yeah. So what is the difference then?
Then see, as you said, security. I can say one part is that. But I am not saying Windows is not secure. Windows is also almost very secure. Okay, then apart from that, when you're accessing Windows in graphic mode, it consumes lot of resources. Understand? I can run this Linux operating system even with 512 bytes of memory. Can you run Windows with 512? You can't run. Okay, so there are a lot of differences you will see. Okay, can you, hello,
Yeah,
are you there?
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so that's what I'm telling you. Okay, there are so many things, we will discuss that. Okay, so right now I'm going to just say next year, and then I'm going to select the time zone here. After selecting the time zone here, I'm going to again say next and give the password. Basically, it is recommended to give a password that you can remember forever. That's the reason I'm giving red hat.
Okay.
I'm giving red hat here, then just say next, and it will say use anyway, no issues. And then just go with the default option, don't change anything here. Then I'm going to say next here and click on write changes to the disk. Click on write changes to the disk. Then after this, then here don't go with basic server, you just select what? Desktop. Just select desktop, right? And then afterward just say next and just finish the installation. That means the installation is going on now. No need to do anything from here. So this is how the basic installation you're going to do. Today what you do is uh, you have a ISO image of Linux. You have a Linux operating system with you.
No.
You don't have.
Sorry.
Okay. So I will be mailing you that operating system with a Google Drive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
You just download that. It will be almost 3.6 GB.
Okay.
It will be almost 3.6 GB. It will be there. Okay.
Okay.
And you have to download that. You just download this VMware workstation and just update me, and I will be sending you the license for VMware. Okay.
Okay.
Getting it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and the next session, so we will be discussing about the basics like file creation, directory creation, all these things we'll discuss. And at the same time, I will be sending you the details about the payment. So before next session, you update me the payment,
Okay.
50% or whatever, 50% you update me, under 50% after the 50% session is done.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. So by Monday evening, you update me the confirmation about the payment.
Okay.
Right? Right there. No? See you. The following, right? Any doubts are there?
Not at the moment, but maybe today. Today I will
Yeah.
be installing this
Yes.
VMware, and you just give me the link for this
Yes.
Linux software.
VMware. Huh?
VMware. I can't get
Linux.
it.
Linux. No, Linux. I will give you. There is no issue. But I don't know whether. Yes, I will give you a link from where you can download.
Okay.
So this is the link. I think. So I'm giving it on the chat.
Okay.
Just click on that link. It will get downloaded.
Okay, that's
It starts download. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Right. Done.
Okay, so
So it start downloads. Once you just click, it will download. No
okay.
need to do anything there. Okay. Oh, that's it. Any doubts? You can ask me.
So same
No doubts, right?
tomorrow.
Not tomorrow. On Sunday, no session. Monday. This week, no, because I'm having some other sessions tomorrow, so I can't because weekend sessions are there, so I can manage the things.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
So we will be doing the session Monday. Monday to Saturday, we will be doing the sessions, and even from next Sunday, we will also plan it. Okay, fine. Okay.
one more thing.
We will speed up also. We will speed up the session also. Don't. I'm not saying. Yes, tell me. You're asking something.
Uh, Sometimes some weekends I'll be coming over there, so sometimes there'll be some discrepancy. Like no classes
I
on
didn't.
weekends. Is it okay?
You will not be able to take the class, huh?
Yeah, because my marriage is fixed for on February 19th, so I got some. Sometimes I need to travel to Hyderabad.
Oh, okay, no problem. No issues.
I will let you know before.
February 19th.
Yeah,
Sure, no problem. Okay, sure, no sure. Where do you locate in Hyderabad?
in Bachpally, Nizampet.
Nizampet, Bajpali. Oh, okay, got you. Oh, it's very long distance.
Where you will be in
Yeah, I'm in Tirumalgiri.
Firmalgiri. Okay,
From Tirumalgiri to Bajpali means it's
very long distance.
still. So anyhow, no issues. You can just ping me. You can just mail me. No issues.
Okay, that's fine. Thank
Okay.
you. Okay,
Right, right.
okay, bye.